Greetings and salutations, test takers. This is the Series 7 Guru coming to you from my off-grid studio, getting our kicks on historic Route 66 with an explication request. This is Kaplan QID 1558260. I will help you with any request from any vendor, and if you have it, send it to explication request at guruexamprep.com. It's easier if it's a Kaplan question because you can just send me the QID and I can bring it up backstage. If you don't have a Kaplan Q Bank, I highly recommend it as a paid supplement. On the Series 7, for example, with my Guru 15 discount code at checkout, you can get over 3,600 questions and a performance tracker. I think it's best in class to help you identify areas for remediation. For that commercial, Kaplan allows me to give you free look on Kaplan content like this. This is very testable. I'll put it both in the 7 and 65 playlist. It's testable on both exams. Your client is considering two bonds, an ABC Corporation mortgage bond with a coupon yield of 9% and a municipal bond issued by the state which she resides in. So we got to determine suitability here. And it's all about comparing and contrasting about what's suitable, what would be unsuitable. She's in a 32% tax bracket. What is the tax-free equivalent yield for the mortgage bond so she can make a fair comparison, right? And decide whether she wants a taxable yield or tax-free. And so we got to figure out what is the tax-free equivalent yield to 9%. The other thing on the test you might encounter is to go the other direction, where she's considering a muni and what does she need in a taxable equivalent yield. So you're going to either be asked on the test to go from taxable yield to tax-free, as we're doing in this question, or to go from tax-free yield to taxable equivalent, as you might see in some other question. All right, well, let's start with the what you get in annual interest. You get 9% on par, so each of these bonds pays her $90 in annual interest. I think of taxes as the price you pay for civilization. So some of this money is going to be confiscated by the government, right? 32% of this is your tax obligation on that. So of the $90 you're receiving, 28.80 is what you're going to pay in taxes on that taxable yield, whereas corporate bonds are taxable. So one way to do it is say, okay, well, if I get 90, but I have to pay the government 28.80, I'm going to end up after tax on the 65. Sometimes they refer to this as after tax return or tax-free equivalent yield of $61.20. Now, in a muni, that would relate to a muni with a coupon of 6.12. So there's the answer to the question, right? If we can get for example, a 6.5% muni, that would be the better choice, given that all other things are equal, which they never are, right? So 9 taxable is the equivalent of 6.12 tax-free. Now, another way you could do it is I could say, okay, well, of the 9% yield, you're only really going to be left with 0.68 or 68% of that. I take the taxable yield and I times it by 100% minus their tax bracket. And then I say, okay, well, you're left with that. That's another way to get to 6.12. Now, if I was going to go the other direction, I would take the tax-free yield, figure out taxable equivalent, and divide by 100% minus the tax bracket. I'll link to a video that I have on this situation in the video description. Remember that inch by inch, your exam's a cinch, yard by yard, your exam is hard, and I'll see you for the next explication request.